Welcome back to our second edition of Straight Talk with Vijay Narayan, where we look at one of the most important things that may provide us a higher level of protection when it comes to COVID-19. We've had the daily record of COVID-19 cases rising, and of course, it concerns everyone who is watching things closely. One of the answers for people is to ensure that we have a higher layer of protection. And as we discussed that one of those ways we can do that is through vaccination. So we've got head of vaccination task force for the health ministry, Dr. Devi, again joining us. We know a very busy person. Thank you for taking time out to talk to us this morning. Dr. Rachel, first of all, since the last week, vaccinations have gone up, the number of people who have taken the first dose and the number of people who have taken the second dose. Can you update the people about that, please?
Yes, thank you, Vijay. And it's good to be back and talking about vaccines again, because we know it's an important pillar to the whole COVID-19 containment in Fiji. But being mindful, it's not the only pillar, right? It's not the only component. So yes, we know we did more than 70,000 in a week alone last week, and this week alone it's just been 2 days, and we've already crossed about more than 13,000 vaccine doses across the VT level alone. And having said that, this is we know as well that this was achieved despite the challenges on the ground. With the vaccine teams in Nandi and in Suva being down because they were secondary contacts, but they're being cleared off now, and we're hoping them to start soon. So, but yeah, cumulatively, as of yesterday evening, we had 220,437 individuals who had received their first dose, and 4773 had received their second doses. So we know we still have a small amount of people who are fully vaccinated. And we also do know that, the AstraZeneca vaccines do work against this Delta variant, the Indian variant we're talking about here in Fiji. And better protection is with the second jab. That's important. So yeah, we've definitely passed the 200,000 mark in terms of vaccinations in Fiji as of yesterday evening.
Dr. Rachel, we'll go straight into it, where there's been a lot of misinformation, and the best way to deal with misinformation is to call it out and to say, listen, these are the facts here, and let's get things straight here. Where we have had some people talking about that this vaccine, after you take it, that you can get magnets to stick on your arms. Your comments on that?
Thank you, Vijay. Yes. So firstly, the vaccine's content, it has no metallic contents in it. It is whatever every other vaccine contains, usually the proteins, the acids, amino acids, etc. I mean, that's what it has, but it does not have any metal content. And I'm not sure, I believe a lot of people may have watched our FNU video as well, in terms of the magnet story, where one of the professors had literally portrayed it where the magnets were, and then she licked it and stuck it on her forehead. I mean, we don't know what people are doing behind the scenes and what videos they're taking in terms of portraying it, but I can guarantee you there's no metallic elements to this. I've even heard on social media that some people even tried the magnet without having been vaccinated, so it stuck. I mean, because obviously they either licked it or something, but we know for sure, when we look at the content of the vaccine in itself, there is no such thing, and yeah, that can be rest assured.
The other issue that people are talking about, that there's some sort of animal fat that gets injected in people when they take the vaccine.
That goes back again to the content of it. There is no animal fat. There is not even any pork products, nothing of that sort. And the virus, and the vaccine in itself, it's not live vaccine. We do have vaccines which are live, but this is not a live vaccine. And we know it's absolutely, the content is not what people think it is. And honestly, if the other thing to say in that is, if you're really wanting to know the exact content, I mean, it will be a bit scientific in terms of words and all that things. You can always go to the WHO website, and even our Minister of Health webpage has those WHO webpage links. You can always visit them for the correct information.
Dr. Rachel, the biggest issue, of course, is some people are basing it on religious grounds, saying that this is the mark of the beast when people take this vaccine. Your comments on that, Dr. Rachel?
Thank you, Vijay. Yes. The mark of the beast, I don't know how a vaccine could be a mark of the beast. And if people are even talking about, I know there has been talks about microchips, etc. Now, when you think of it, when you even look at it, the smallest microchip in itself is not even able to fit into that bottle, neither into that needle. It cannot. In no way it can. That bottle, and when you look at that bottle inside, it's absolutely like it's clear. There's no residuals in it, nothing. So we know that it's absolutely impossible for a microchip. I mean, to get into it, and a microchip is it's not naked to the eye. You can see it. You can probably, if you hold it in the palm, I mean, in your palms, you definitely visualize it, and in no way can it get into an arm in this context, and it's not even into that vaccine jab that's going to people. And as for those religious in terms of also the mark of the beast, I think we've got to realize that this vaccine has undergone significant amount of studies before it came to Fiji. There is no, it's a scientific thing. It's a scientific aspect where science has gone into the development of this vaccine. And I know even some people are talking about how could a vaccine, usually a vaccine takes decades to develop. How could a vaccine be developed so fast, so quickly? And in less than a year, we've got a COVID-19 vaccine. And this is one of the things I've been sharing across Fiji when we've been talking about it, and we've even shared it recently as well. Is when you think of it, globally we're in a pandemic mode, and in a pandemic mode, the whole world has come together to try and get a solution to this one virus that's lurking around in our countries. And to achieve that, all scientists came together, and a lot of things went simultaneously, hand in hand. And when you put that together, I mean, it's powerful. When we join hands together as a nation and we're able to combat this disease, that's powerful. So similarly, science happened in that sense that all scientists, all great minds came together and made this happen in a matter of months. So that in itself is a global achievement. And there is already evidence that there is significant reduction in deaths. When we look at it, I mean, UK honestly is a typical example where they used to have thousands and thousands of deaths. Now they are having only a few, and even in that, it's amongst the non-vaccinated individuals. So I think we really need to relook at what's being spoken about. Don't go back and just listen to any information that's given to you. Like you said, misinformation. So we need to get the right information and get them correct, and because honestly, it is for us. It's for our safety. It's for all Fijian out there.
There's issues also being raised. You touched on that point about there's so much work that has gone into this vaccine, and a number of scientists, many companies coming together to ensure this happens. People are still asking the question, oh, there was some people in bar, they were talking about it. I won't take this vaccine because I will die in 2 years. What's your message to those kind of people?
I think, I mean, who are we to say when are we going to die? I mean, we were created We're human beings. We don't know when we're going to die. It could happen today, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen in a decade. We could even still live to pass 100 years of years. But every moment treasured with the loved ones is important. And for that, we just have to be. I think we've got enough wisdom and knowledge to say that, okay, if I've got something that can protect me, then why shouldn't I? And we've got to think. I mean, I think sometimes we become a bit too selfish and forget about our family around us. That there is a family that we go back to, a home that I go back to, and we've got to think about them as well, and not be complacent in that context. It's like, I'm going to die in a few years. Why should I take it? And just continue to live on with it. But I think it's more important that we think about what we're going through today, overcome it to that together, and then face tomorrow. And if I know it'll be mainly individuals who are older generations saying that I'm going to die any day in the next few years anyway. So why should I? So the other thing to note is, with the jab being taken by us adults, we are protecting our children. Being mindful, our children currently are not being able to be vaccinated because science has not directed us in that direction with the AstraZeneca vaccine that we've got. So, for example, if I've got 5 adults in the household and I've got 2 toddlers, I'd rather have all 5 vaccinated so that I can protect my toddlers that's at home with us. So in that way, we take that responsibility as adults to protect the younger generation as well.
Cases are rising. We've got cases going into the 60s. The daily records for COVID-19 cases went up to more than 80. Now it's more than 90, and it continues to rise. Dr. Fong says we expect more cases and widespread cases. From the perspective of those who do not want to take the vaccine, what are they stopping themselves from getting if they do get the vaccine?
Yes, a very important question, and I think there's 2 parts to it as well. Firstly, when we've got the increased rise in cases, we also do need to know that these vaccines are there to help us from getting severe disease of the COVID-19. So when we do that, and when we've even gotten our second jab, it helps us reduce in the serious illnesses, reduces in the hospitalization, and reduces deaths. That's significantly, and that in itself is of essence and important that we do take these vaccinations. And when it comes closer to your house communities, that's also important that you stay within your bubble within that community and come in for that vaccination jab. So I think that's of importance here. Is these vaccines, like I mentioned again, is an important step. It's an important pillar to the whole containment approach. And also, having said that, I know there's some people even saying that, okay, I've got my second jab. Do I still need to wear my mask? Do I still need to do hand sanitizations, etc.? Of course you do need to, because not everybody in Fiji is vaccinated. We haven't reached herd immunity, and we may not until the next few months. I mean, till we all have gotten our second jab. And currently we know that majority of the people in Fiji that have gotten their jab it's just the first dose. So we're still a long way off, but but obviously we need that certain level of protection. So that's important.
Let's talk about children. There's a CDC in the US came out with some information about the vaccine that they are administering, that children as young as 12 and up can get the vaccine. Of course, with AstraZeneca, tests are still underway. A lot of parents are wondering what's the situation with their children, with also schools still closed and the steps taken forward. We are far from that at the moment as far as decision making is concerned. What's the word from that scientist that you are talking to at WHO and other organizations about children?
Yes, so that's an important question, and I think, and I know that a lot of people are asking this: How am I going to protect my child? And we know we've seen cases amongst children as well in Fiji. That's been obvious in this outbreak. So with the vaccine that America is vaccinating with is mainly Pfizer, and Pfizer has been endorsed to be vaccinated amongst the 12 to 16 year of age. Um, and that's something that definitely that's important as well. And we're looking into considering that for that particular age group in the coming days. But we also do know that AstraZeneca vaccines are undergoing studies for this particular population. But the most important thing there is if we adults get vaccinated and create that herd immunity that we require in Fiji, our younger generation is protected. That's important. While we have that opportunity with the vaccines that are available in country, I think we should maximize on it. And this is where I think all adults play a play an important role, that responsibility for the younger generation. So I think if adults put in hands together and get vaccinated, we have the potential to protect the younger, as long as we reach herd immunity, and even better.
Let's talk about herd immunity for Fiji. Uh, what would be what are the discussions based around herd immunity? What's the percentage of population you're looking at? How many people are looking at?
Right. So herd immunity, well, basically herd immunity concept works in this way, like I've been explaining. For example, if we've got 10 people in the room and 9 are vaccinated, and I'm protecting that one person who's probably a child, or someone who probably didn't fall into that eligible group of vaccination. So that's basically the herd immunity concept. Now, when we talk about percentage, every vaccine preventable disease has its own rates. For example, with measles, we need to be above 95% coverage to achieve herd immunity. And this is one of the things why we've always been harping about and going on, that when we've had a measles outbreak, we need to make sure that particular percentage coverage is achieved in the country and that particular population as well. So similarly with COVID vaccines, we've got a herd immunity of above 70%. But being mindful, the better we do. So Fiji is targeting 90 to 95% above for fully vaccinated individuals. And with that, we know the higher we are, the better we have at having a much better herd immunity in the country, and reducing the transmission, reducing the infectious diseases amongst our children. So that's the targets that we're working on. But we know that WHO's put out the 70%, while Fiji in itself is targeting a lot higher than that, for obvious reasons that we do want to maximize the protection. Because one of the reasons is, we've got a high NCD crisis, and we've got an NCD crisis in the country where non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension is one of the highest in the world. That makes our people very vulnerable. I mean, I can't explain more than that, in the sense that makes our people very vulnerable. So in that context, we really need all Fijians to be vaccinated and protected, and achieve that herd immunity for Fiji in itself.
It's great news that Australia is sending the doses in batches. We expect another 50,000 doses this week. We had an interview with the Australian High Commissioner, John Feeks, who said they're making sure they're working with the Health Ministry team that the momentum continues with the batches arriving. And of course, with New Zealand also expected to do the same with 500,000 doses. With how the batches are arriving, you expect that to continue to ensure you have momentum in taking the doses to the people on the ground and continuing on your track to ensure people reach herd immunity?
Yes, that's right. The vaccination program is dependent on the doses that are in the country right now. You may have noticed, and I know a lot of people are saying, why aren't we sending vaccines to the north, or sending vaccines to the islands, outer islands? Obviously, the reason is obvious for now, that we've got an outbreak happening here in the central, in on Viti Levu, and that's where the targeted approach is. And dependent on that is the vaccine rollout is the doses that we have in country. So as we get them, we roll them out, and we know on an average we've been seeing close to 50 to 70,000 vaccinations in a week. So we know that we need these numbers of vaccines to keep rolling. And if we were to roll out vaccination right across the country, I would anticipate maybe more than 80,000 doses in the country to be able to do a nationwide rollout simultaneously. Because we know the people of the north are keen, in the eastern divisions, in the islands, they're keen, and they're wanting to protect their people as well. So while we get the vaccines to them, I think the immediate interim protection is that you obviously continue with the COVID safe behaviors. But yes, we're definitely rolling out our vaccines as the doses are coming in.
Dr. Devi, just in relation to questions being raised after our first session that we had last week, in relation to a lot of naysayers who are saying you're just trying to brainwash us to take the vaccine. Your comments to those who may be coming to this forum again to talk about that?
Honestly, I'm not brainwashing anybody. I'm just being honest that I want all Fijians protected. I'm a Fijian wanting all Fijian to be protected out there, and that's as simple as I can get. And the other thing to note is it's not legalized that it's mandatory that you take it. We're trying to give you all the right information so you make the right decision. And obviously, ultimately, we all have our own individual rights that we share, and that's an individual choice. So we're not pushing that jab in your arm. We're giving you that choice to come forward and get that jab in your arm. We're not going to hold you down. No, we're not going to hold anybody down and force that jab into any single soul. But you can say that as a Fijian, this is the message to all Fijians to protect ourselves. Vaccination is an important pillar of the whole containment. I mean, the last thing that we would want to see in Fiji is, having death rates from COVID-19. That's the last thing that I think anybody would want to see.
So there you go, Dr. Rachel Devi. And everything that we're talking about is based on factual information, based on statistics, based on research here and also globally that we're giving to you to help you make that decision. If you are still confused, please, you can contact the Ministry of Health in Fiji. You can go to the vaccination site and have that discussion, and to ensure that you are getting the right information, not that you are being tracked by a magnetic device in your arm. There's no such thing happening. And also that you are marked by the beast, so to speak. Get vaccinated, ensure that you're safe, protect your family members, and help the whole of Fiji in moving forward, as that's your part to play during this time. Until next week, have a great day.